Let me say this before you get too comfortable. If you're just another man looking for attention, you won't last 3 minutes here. This isn't for the loud ones, not for the boys who chase approval, validation, or cheap praise. Number that this is for the man who doesn't need the room to see him, because the room already feels him. You know who you are. You've always been different, not quieter, just quieter than the noise. And when women meet you, they don't even know what to call it. All they know is you get under their skin. So if you're the kind of man who walks alone, not because you're lost, but because you choose your own direction, then stay. Because what you're about to hear, it's not flattery, it's not fantasy, it's the truth women don't say out loud. This is the number one thought women have when they meet a real Sigma male. And once you hear it, you'll never see yourself the same way again. Welcome to your awakening. Oh, and by the way, I've got something very special for you. Sigma's Black Book of Untouchable Power. It's an ebook that contains the forbidden secret knowledge that will turn you into the man others fear and respect. Warning, this will be deleted soon. The elite don't want you to see this. Grab it in the description section or pinned comment below. Let's begin. 1. I shouldn't want him this much. She notices him before she even realizes she's watching. Not because he speaks, not because he performs, but because the moment he enters the room, the air changes. There's no loud confidence, no wild hand gestures, no casual laughter thrown into the crowd just to make a mark. He's quiet, still, disconnected, but not cold. And that disconnect, it grabs her in places she thought were buried beneath strength, standards, and self-control. He doesn't look like trouble, but her body doesn't believe it. Something about him makes her straighten her spine, check her lip gloss, and forget why she walked into the room. He stands like he has nothing to prove, but everything to hide. And God help her. She wants to know every hidden part. This isn't like falling for the charming guy who flatters you, texts you good morning, and shows you off like a prize. No, this is different. It's not about being chosen by him. It's about being noticed by him. Because she knows, without him saying a word, he's not chasing anyone and he's already full. And that kind of wholeness, it's rare, it's dangerous. It makes her want to earn what other men gave away too easily. But even as she fights it, the thought starts to creep in. I shouldn't want him this much. And yet she does, because desire never asks permission. 2. Why do I feel so naked? It starts when he looks at her. Not at her body, not through her, but into her. His eyes don't flicker with lust. They search, as though he's reading her thoughts, line by trembling line. And the wildest part, he's not trying to seduce her. He's not even flirting. He just listens. That quiet, delicious silence where he doesn't interrupt, doesn't solve, doesn't sugarcoat. He just absorbs. And in that space, she feels her armor slipping. Not because he demanded it, but because he never asked for it. Women are used to giving men a version of themselves. The polished version, the sparkly one. The woman who laughs on cue and softens her voice just enough to seem agreeable. But with him, that mask feels ridiculous, exhausting, because the Sigma sees through pretense. And more than that, he doesn't entertain it. She finds herself revealing more than she planned, not to impress, but because for the first time in a long time, she doesn't feel like she has to hide, and it terrifies her. Because it's not physical nakedness she fears, it's emotional exposure. And in the presence of a man who demands nothing, she's never felt more seen. 3. I want him to want me, but he doesn't need me. This is where the ache begins, because most men, they orbit women. They lean in, they cling. They need her attention, her approval, her affection, like oxygen. But him, he's content in his own silence, whole in his own company, satisfied in a way that's not cocky, just centered. She could leave right now when he wouldn't flinch. She could confess her attraction and he wouldn't melt. He wouldn't chase, he wouldn't beg, he wouldn't perform. And for a woman who's used to being the sun in every man's sky, this unsettles her, because his lack of desperation, It feels like a challenge, like a puzzle no one else has solved. She starts craving the thing he never offers. Validation, not attention, not compliments, but proof that she can move him, that behind those unreadable eyes, he feels something for her. But the Sigma doesn't give you what you want. He gives you what's real. And only when it's deserved. That's why women think about him long after he's gone, because he never needed her. And yet somehow, she wanted him more for it. 4. Does he even know what he's doing to me? He's not trying to flirt. He's just ordering coffee, just leaning back in his chair, just watching the street like he's in another universe. And yet, her skin prickles, her heart shifts, her thoughts spiral. The way he listens without nodding too much. The way he waits before speaking, like he values silence more than approval. She starts asking herself questions she's never asked before. Why do I suddenly feel self-conscious in my favorite dress? Why do I want him to ask me one more question? Why am I craving his validation like a hit of something addictive? And the worst part? He seems completely unaware of the firestorm he's causing in her. That detached serenity, that unknowable inner world. It haunts her. Because the men who've wanted her before were predictable. They looked at her like a possession. They told her what she wanted to hear. They fed off her energy. But this man, he's a mirror. He reflects her back to herself. And that's the most disarming seduction of all. She's not trying to figure him out anymore. She's trying to figure herself out because of him. 5. I can't unfeel him. It's been days, maybe weeks. She's dated other men since, even kissed one. Tried to convince herself the feeling was temporary, an illusion, a phase. But it wasn't. Because when she met the Sigma, she didn't just see a man, she felt a shift. Like someone real had finally walked into her life after years of imitations. And even if they never spoke again, even if he never comes back, she knows the difference now. She's tasted the energy of a man who doesn't need validation, but earns respect. A man who doesn't chase, but leaves you wondering if you should have chased him. A man who makes you want to rise, not just be wanted. And that awareness, it doesn't fade. It lingers in her choices, her standards, her next yes, her next number. She can't go back to pretending average is enough, because she's felt what real is now. And real doesn't beg, boast, or bend. It simply is. And that's the number one thought that every woman has when she meets a true Sigma male. He didn't leave me broken, he left me awakened. If your heart is still steady after this, you're either not paying attention or you've already met one. Maybe he crossed your path in a coffee shop. Maybe he said very little but left too much behind. Maybe he's you. The Sigma male doesn't need to announce himself. He doesn't post it, he doesn't preach it. He simply walks into a room and everything changes. So if you've ever left a woman speechless without a single line rehearsed, if you've been loved in silence but feared for your distance, if you've ever watched people leave and didn't chase them, you already know. You're not just rare, you're the standard she'll compare every man to after you're gone. And if that stirred something in you, a truth you haven't said out loud yet, I want you to do something. Drop the word untouchable in the comments. If you know that this isn't hype, it's who you've always been. And if you're the kind of man who moves in silence but walks in fire, hit that subscribe button. Because around here, we don't teach you how to become a Sigma male. We remind you that you already are. And the next time she says, I don't know what it is about you, smile, and because you do.